As she left the hotel, a male colleague saw her, dubbing her the villain. He then teasingly offered her a ride. The colleague showed his true nature, warning her booking a room during work is improper, leaving her embarrassed by his sweat. After parking, he wanted to see that moment she called him crazy. He just chuckled. She thought, how am I going to explain this to the principal? She fidgeted with her clothes, eager to escape this devil's car. She turned back, ripped her shirt, and was stunned by the revealing sight. Who knew her reaction would be so simple? This wasn't a technique, it was pure bewilderment in her heart. The colleague continued teasing, I'm not the type to break promises. She whispered for him to hush, feeling more and more frustrated. Why am I so unlucky? She consoled herself, thinking a peek at other girls might help, and maybe a good cry would wash it away. Little did she know, her male colleague had other ideas. The colleague gave her 2 concert tickets. May your bond with your husband grow stronger. She thanked him politely and left. He watched as she walked away, shaking his head dismissively, while her husband, completely oblivious, cracked jokes to his wife. Wife finally snapped, what's the difference from a machine? Maybe sensing her own rudeness, she comforted her. Should we get checked? The wife braced for the upcoming medication challenges, while her husband confidently held her hand. No matter what the results are, it will be that she was secretly pleased. Her husband didn't mind her infertility. The doctor asked upon seeing results, no amenorrhea. The wife looked at her husband, leaving him both amused and confused. After exiting, he seemed shaken and left hurriedly. She sensed her husband needed some space, but when evening came and he still wasn't back, she went to his restaurant, only to be shocked by what she saw. She intended to call him, but was stunned when he just glanced at her call and hung up. Instantly her anger fled. She thought, he's out flirting with someone else. Just then her colleague texted her, what's up? She scoffed, just going to spectate your little concert. Glancing at her reflection, a bold idea struck her and she headed straight for where her colleague was supposedly stuck. She seemed to sense something, rushed downstairs, saw his expectant look, then the next scene filled them with regret. Wife spent the night in turmoil, but it wasn't because he was too much, it was more that he lacked finesse, being called a useless sen. She found her husband was infertile, so had never fathered a child. Though he seemed calm, he panicked inside. Though she didn't know when he'd changed, he was internally panicking, and the guy who seemed useless was out flirting, plotting his escape. Not only did he hang up her call, but he also made excuses texting about working late. Working late? They'll find someone to join me too. She felt a twinge of jealousy. The male colleague saw her at midnight, hurried downstairs, and they shared an unspoken bond. At that moment, she regained a sliver of reason and was about to turn, only to be pulled into the car by him, leading to quite the speculation. Back home, she felt guilty and rushed to greet her husband as he returned, but he looked visibly displeased. She wondered whether he hadn't sung out, or he was punishing himself for not being wild, or maybe he was aware of her crazy night out. When her husband hugged her tightly, she sighed in relief. But upon waking, her internal conflict began. She intended to call her colleague, saying she had acted on impulse, but he replied, I didn't make a mistake. It dawned on her that she had gotten herself into a sticky situation with a shameless gum. Then the principal assigned her a new task, go to the internet cafe and catch some students. She thought, well, how could I possibly not join in? However, Principal Kwon insisted on accompanying her. She wondered, how can a woman catch those kids? She just wanted to avoid awkwardness with him. Okay, let's watch. Noticing Teacher Kwon's helpless look, Zhenyuan thought, if inconvenient, he'll go alone. Him more than willing left Zhenyuan speechless, and unexpectedly, Teacher Kwon discovered something new. She scolded the student, get back to the classroom and study. To her surprise, he attempted to haggle. She mentioned other internet cafes and wanted to bring his pals to class. Zhenyuan saw it as a chance but remained cautious. She feared unnecessary complications, even being careful when eating a rice bowl. Suddenly, she found it way too spicy. She planned to drink water to ease. Surprisingly, this guy was insightful and gave her his rice bowl without a yoru. Feeling at ease, they swiftly switched from water to sake. Zhenyuan, tipsy, asked Teacher Kwon a bold question. Is your health down the good? Teacher Kwon froze in shock, as Zhenyuan just blurted out about her husband. Little did she know her words would haunt her later. It felt like a pair of eyes were secretly watching her. The anonymous envelope on the table only heightened her anxiety. Sure enough, when she opened it, a USB drive fell out. She decided to plug it into her computer to see what's on it. One glance terrified her. Fearing what came, lying with her husband, she was anxious. She pretended to reciprocate her husband's affection, but soon after a romantic moment, she snuck away. She stuck into the study, analyzing the video, thinking, who filmed this? How so clear? Suddenly, she found the answer in the reflection. Torn between confusion and unease, she fervently searched for the identity of the. Looking at the surrounding vehicles, she quickly identified an SUV. It was the school nurse's car. Pretending to see the female doctor, she aimed to confirm her involvement, but the doctor was oblivious.